I mean, my boys, my two young boys were taking the medals out the other day, and they were asking what it's about. And like, it's funny, isn't it? You start to reminisce and start to think about things, and it was great to finish, with a Prem title. It was amazing.
Feel with Exeter, especially in Europe, like I feel that the one against Wasps where Jimmy Goppert landed that quarter final. And then kind of the season before that, you were involved in that Challenge Cup semi-final away to Gloucester. Do you feel those losses was kind of, I know it's hard to say, like the best thing that was ever happened because at the end of the day, you were losing massive games, but do you feel now down the line when they've actually lifted the European Cup that those learning experiences, because Europe is completely different than kind of league rugby?
Yeah, completely agree. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, on the back of Telfer's question, do you think the reason why Exeter struggled in Europe in those first few seasons was because there was a lack of European culture, and therefore the losing kind of helped the learning to almost build the culture? Does that make sense? Kind of like going off the back of Telfer's kind of point there.
Yeah, no, I think you're both right, and I think first of all, I think with the losing those big games, essentially because you get so far, it does breed a certain amount of, like I said before, but like a hungerness, and collectively as a team, but also as an individual, as like, God, we're close to winning this now. Like, what else do we need now to kind of just get over that mark? So I think definitely, and I think, when we were first in those Challenge Cups and European Cups, and more so playing the sort of like the French sides and stuff, I went over to Clermont twice and played over there, and wow, I mean, like, what an experience that was. I think their experiences you're never going to forget, in terms of, one, the hostility in the crowd, not bad hostility, but just pure, love for rugby and whatever. But then, Clermont, when I think they had like £28 million or £25 million sort of like spending, like Europe, they could spend 25 million euros, whatever. And they had like Sivivatu on the wing. They were playing Jonathan Davies, Regan King, all these players. And I'm going to myself, well, hold on a second, I'm here playing against a star-studded, and then they go and change the bench and they bring on a load of Super Rugby players, Benson Stanley, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's your bench? Wow, okay. So you get to understand and learn from that experience, because essentially you're playing against the best people in the world. These are best, all the best people in world rugby. Okay, they haven't got, the French haven't got salary caps and stuff, so yeah, they can afford them or whatever. Okay, so be it. That's top 14, and that's French rugby. So, with these European games, you start to learn. Like, it's a different mindset, it's a different culture. European rugby, it's knockout rugby. It's not back on the horse. We'll try and grab another 4 or 5 points in the Prem. It is literally, it's get as many points as you can. Let's get out of our group, and then, wow, okay, we're out of our group now. What can we do now to knock somebody out and to knock somebody off the tree? And those kind of games are thrived upon because, the tension in the changing rooms, naturally you're a lot more nervous because it's do or die. And those type of games. And like I said, playing against Leinster, I think we lost 9-6, didn't we? We had a chance to draw the game. Mieres from the halfway, hell of a kick from him, but just didn't quite have the legs. And going out there and playing against the bods of the world, like, that's amazing. But again, it's a learning culture. You have to go and learn to play in Europe and play against the best teams, and try and win big games. So I completely agree with that.
And so you left Exeter in 2017.
Yep.
What was it like to leave with a premiership trophy in that sense? It must have been pretty sweet. You started your career in the championship, and you ended at Exeter with a premiership trophy. What was that like?
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was kind of like a bit, I suppose, in some ways, and I probably didn't look at it at the time, but I look back now and I go, well, it's probably like the icing on the cake, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Or the cherry on top. So, to be with the team, from the get-go, as part of the originals, as per se, winning and earning my right to play in the Premiership, staying in the Premiership for as long as I did. I look back now and I go, the amount of wingers they brought in, Tom James, Feti Vanakola, and I still managed to try and hold my own. And we talk about sort of like cultures and winning cultures. Like, a lot of your winning culture is actually to try and keep the shirt. week in, week out. And, they're fantastic players. And, I still keep in touch with, especially those two now. But like, there's a constant battle, going on week in, week out to try and play in the Prem. And I suppose you can always do one thing, is always thank those people, that you used to kind of fight the shirt for, because it made you a better player, it made you a better person. You appreciate the time when you wore the shirt, but also you appreciate it when essentially, okay, I didn't have a great game, and he gets a shirt and he goes and, I don't know, shirks away for a try. Naturally, you're thinking, oh, he's going to have the shirt next week. But like, he's taking a chance. But then, I suppose, on the build up to that year where we won the Prem, I mean, it was just amazing. The feeling in the squad was great. We had a good young bunch in as well. Those guys that we've talked about before, the golden era, they were coming through. I think some of them have played in England rugby from then on. So like it was coming and coming and coming, and then I mean that final was just outstanding. What a game! What a game! Yeah. So like I think I walked away sort of like just going, yeah, that's nice, and sort of like obviously I've got the medal here and stuff, and you just kind of put that. I was actually in a drawer at the moment. I'm going to try and put it in the office somewhere. So, but like that. I mean, my boys, my two young boys were taking the medals out the other day, and they were asking what it's about. And like, it's funny, isn't it? You start to reminisce and start to think about things, and it was great to finish, with the Prem title. It was amazing. And I always look back to kind of when the boys won the European title the other day, and somebody said to me, I think somebody asked me a question, do you wish you were there and you'd run? And it's like, no, I don't. And it was a funny question, because it's like, because at that time, it wasn't my time. I was playing European rugby, but we didn't have that squad or that mentality to win, those titles at the time, and it wasn't my time. But for those boys, I was more than happy. When I had a couple of photos or videos from boys on the back of the bus, and they were drinking their Heineken with their European, and I was like, and some of those boys I played with. So like, it was amazing to see. Really, really good to see.